In ancient times, before the heavens and the earth existed, there was the vast and boundless Ginnungagap, a boundless void devoid of form and life. There was neither light nor darkness, neither top nor bottom, only oppressive silence and absolute emptiness. But in this primordial abyss, on one side was Niflheim, the dark realm of ice and cold, where icy rivers flowed from the eternal spring of Hvergelmir, which poured forth icy torrents relentlessly. On the other side raged Muspelheim, a world of fire and heat, where sparks and flames sprang from the very core of the cosmos. When the icy rivers of Niflheim met the raging streams of Muspelheim in the center of Ginnungagap, a miracle occurred. Hot and cold currents merged, giving birth to vapor, and from this vapor, from the mixture of fire and ice, water droplets appeared. Thus, for the first time, a creature was born. The primordial giant Ymir, a giant of immense height and incredible strength. Ymir was the primal being, and from his flesh many other giants arose. He embodied chaos and destruction, and his presence threatened the very existence of the future order. Ymir was alone, but not alone. A giant cow, Audumbla, emerged from the ice and fed him with her milk. Day after day, Audumbla licked the salty ice blocks, and soon the first god, Buri, emerged from them. Buri, in turn, gave birth to a son named Bur. Bur married the giantess Besla, and 3 sons were born to them: Odin, Vili, and Ve. Their mother, the giantess Besla, and their father, the giant Bur, always told their sons that a great destiny awaited them. But none of the brothers could have guessed what fate really awaited them. The 3 brothers grew up watching the chaos around them and longed for order and harmony. Odin, Vili, and Ve knew that in order to create a new world, they needed to eliminate Ymir. One day, seeing the threat of Ymir, they decided to act. Gathering at the center of the universe, at some point between fire and ice, the brothers decided to meet Ymir in a duel. Ymir, sensing a threat, roared, and his roar echoed throughout the universe. The earth shook, the ice mountains began to crumble, and the fires of Muspelheim stirred as never before. Odin, the eldest of the brothers, entered the battle first. He was wise and brave, but even his power could not sway Ymir. Then, Vili and Ve joined him. Together they attacked the giant, each attacking from his own side. Vili unleashed his mighty blows on Ymir, while Ve tried to envelop him with magic. The fight went on for a long time, but the brothers did not retreat. They struck at Ymir with swords and axes, and finally, in spite of the giant's strength, they were able to overpower him. The strength of the 3 brothers overcame the power of the one giant, and Ymir fell. Streams of his blood flooded the world, wiping out almost all of the giants except for the few that managed to escape. From Ymir's body, the brothers began to create the world. Ymir's flesh became earth. His bones became high mountains. Teeth and bones formed rocks and gravel. From his blood came seas, rivers, and lakes. The hair became a thick forest, and the giant skull rose above the world, becoming the vault of heaven. To hold the heavens in place, they placed 4 dwarf guards at the corners: Austri in the east, Vestri in the west, Nordri in the north, and Sudri in the south. Then they caught the sparks that flew up from Muspelheim and placed them in the sky, turning them into stars, sun, and moon. One day, while walking along the shore, Odin, Vili, and Ve found 2 billets of wood. Odin breathed life into them. A miracle happened. The wood came to life. The figure had facial features, skin, hair, and breathed. It was the first man, named Ask, which means ash tree. Vili, the god of will and reason, approached Ask and touched his forehead. At the same moment, Ask regained his mind, his ability to think and make decisions. His eyes opened, and he began to understand and realize himself and the world around him. Ve, the 3rd brother, approached Asku and gave him the ability to feel and speak. Words flowed from his mouth, and he could express his thoughts and emotions as he learned and communicated with the world around him. Then the gods turned their attention to the 2nd figure, who was also animated by Odin's will. Vili gave her reason, and Ve gave her feelings and speech. Thus came the first woman, Embla, which means elm. This is how the first humans were created. Ask, the first man, and Embla, the first woman. When Ask and Embla met, they felt a special bond. They were the first of their kind, created by gods from ancient trees. Their souls were filled with joy and wonder. They stood on the shore, looking around at a new and uncharted world full of possibilities and mysteries. Odin, Vili, and Ve, looking at their creation, felt a deep satisfaction. The world was now full not only of natural beauty, but also of intelligent beings capable of appreciating and recognizing this miracle. They gave Aska and Embla a special task, to repopulate and transform Midgard, to bring the light of knowledge and life to it. Before leaving them, the gods gave Asku and Embla important gifts. One taught them ancient knowledge, Vili gave them the art of speech and thought, and Ve endowed them with feelings and will. They learned to distinguish between good and evil, learned the joys and hardships of existence, and found love and the desire to create. The gods showed them how to use the gifts of nature for their well-being, how to build homes, grow food, and interact with the environment. They taught them the art of knowledge so that humanity could develop and flourish. Ask and Embla began their lives in Midgard, a peaceful and fertile world surrounded by oceans. They were the first of the human race, and their descendants spread across the land, building their cities and villages, creating culture and traditions. They built their first dwellings on the shore, from where they began their journey to the depths of new lands. Every day they explored the world, learning and growing, discovering new horizons. Their descendants became the founders of great nations and cultures, and the memory of the first people created by the gods has become an important part of their legacy. The world was created, but for its stability and prosperity, it needed a place connecting all worlds and levels of being. This is how the Great World Tree, the Yggdrasil ash tree, came into being. Its branches stretched through the entire universe, connecting the 9 worlds. Asgard, home of the Aesir gods. It was a place of untold beauty and amazing splendor. Asgard rose on the highest peaks of the world tree Yggdrasil. At the center of Asgard was the mighty palace of Valhalla, the abode of Odin, the supreme god. Asgard was also home to many other gods, and the place of great gatherings and feasts. Every day the gods gathered in the council hall to discuss the affairs of the universe and plan their actions. In the evenings, feasts were held where honey and meat flowed in rivers, and songs and stories filled the air. Loud laughter and shouts of joy echoed throughout the majestic abode of the gods. Asgard was not only a place of joy, but also a fortress. From its heights, the gods could watch over all 9 worlds. Here they stored their power and wisdom, preparing to protect the universe from threats. The walls of Asgard were insurmountable, and its inhabitants were always ready for battle. As the sun set, the palaces and temples of Asgard began to glow with a gentle light, casting golden reflections on the earth. There was silence in those hours, and even the gods thought about the future and how to protect the worlds for which they were responsible. This was Asgard, the home of the Aesir gods, the abode of beauty and strength, wisdom and eternal heroism. Its greatness and glory spread to all worlds, and even centuries later its stories are passed on by word of mouth, inspiring people to exploit and reminding them of the greatness of the gods. Vanahaim, the world of the Vani gods. Vanahaim, an ancient and mysterious land, was the home of the Vani gods, wise and powerful beings whose magic and understanding of nature distinguished them from the Aesir. It was a world far beyond Asgard, surrounded by green forests, fertile fields and deep rivers that embodied harmony and abundance. Vanahaim was famous for its gardens and forests, where trees reached to the heavens and rivers and lakes were full of clear, sparkling water. There was no shortage of fruits and herbs in this world, and the Vanahaim themselves took care to maintain balance and prosperity. Midgard, the world of men. In the very center of the 9 worlds, surrounded by mighty mountains and deep seas, was Midgard, the world of men. This wonderful world was created by the gods Asas from the remains of the giant Ymir, and has since become the place of life and great feats of mankind. Midgard was filled with a variety of landscapes, from green meadows and dense forests to snow-capped mountains and rushing rivers. People settled every corner of this world, creating towns and villages, farming the land and hunting in the forests. Alvheim, abode of the light Alves. Alvheim, the world of the light Alves, was the true embodiment of light and beauty. Nestled in the heavens and lined with greenery, it was home to beings whose talents and magic filled the world with wonder. With grace and wisdom, the Alves used their abilities to create beautiful things and maintain harmony in the universe. Here they created and inspired, creating works of art and magical artifacts that brought joy and peace to all worlds. Alvheim remained a symbol of beauty and creativity. Svartalfheim, the realm of dark elves and dwarves. Svartalfheim is the dark and mysterious home of the dark elves and dwarves. This underworld, also known as Niflheim, was filled with treasure, magic, and secrets hidden deep underground. Svartalfheim was the epitome of power and skill, for it was here that artifacts of incredible power and craftsmanship were created. Svartalfheim was deep underground, its caves and tunnels stretching for miles. Unlike the light and airy Alvheim, Svartalfheim was surrounded by eternal darkness, illuminated only by the glimmer of gems and the light of forge fires. Muspelheim, the world of fire. Muspelheim, the world of eternal fire and heat. This world, ablaze with flames and boiling with lava, was the home of fire giants and symbolized the destructive and creative forces of the universe. Muspelheim emerged in the earliest days of creation, when the universe was still in chaos. While Niflheim became a world of cold and ice, Muspelheim embodied fire and heat. This fiery world existed on the edge of cosmic order, forever burning and shining like a beacon in the midst of chaos. Muspelheim was the home of the primordial beings, the fire giants. These mighty creatures, born of flame and heat, embodied the unbridled forces of destruction and transformation. The embodiment of these forces was necessary to maintain the balance between creation and destruction in the universe. Niflheim, the world of ice and fog. At the heart of the ancient cosmogony, beyond the known and understood, lay Niflheim, a realm of eternal ice and dense fog. This dark and cold world was the opposite of the fiery Muspelheim, and represented one of the oldest parts of the universe. Niflheim was a realm of darkness and cold, where fog and icy winds blew forever. The landscapes of Niflheim were barren and harsh. There was no sunlight or heat, and darkness and cold reigned everywhere. Giant ice fields stretched for many kilometers, interrupted only by high ice mountains and deep chasms where the fog swirled. Jotunheim, land of giants. Jotunheim is a world of giants. This mysterious and powerful world was full of mystery and danger, inhabited by creatures whose strength and ferocity were comparable to nature itself. Jotunheim was a realm of rugged beauty, where mighty giants lived among majestic mountains, deep valleys, and endless icy plains. The giants, also known as Jotuns, found refuge in this harsh land and have inhabited Jotunheim ever since, refining their abilities and strengthening their domain. Their world has become a symbol of might and natural strength, reflecting their unruly spirit. Helheim, abode of the dead. Helheim is the abode of the dead, a dark realm where the souls of those who have died of old age, illness, or accidental death are taken. Helheim is a place of darkness and silence, where souls wander in cold and oblivion. There are no sumptuous feasts or clanging weapons, only eternal darkness and the continuous passage of time. This realm is a reminder of the inexorability of death and the importance of a life of honor and dignity. Yggdrasil rested on 3 roots, each connecting to different worlds and sources. The first root led to Asgard, the world of the Aesir gods. Beneath it was the Well Order, where the 3 Norns, Urdur, Verdund, and Skuld, spun the threads of the destinies of all beings. At this root, the Asgardians gathered daily to discuss important matters and draw wisdom from the well. The second route led to Jotunheim, the kingdom of the giants. There was a spring called Mimir, a well of wisdom and knowledge. One day Odin sacrificed his eye to be allowed to drink from this spring. He dipped his eye into Mimir and became the possessor of unimaginable knowledge, seeing the future and the hidden. The third route led to Niflheim, the realm of ice and mist. Here was the well of Fergelmir, the source of all waters, and the home of the dragon Nidhogr, who gnawed at the root of the tree, eating its sap and undermining its base. Yggdrasil became the support of the universe, connecting all beings and their worlds into one harmonious system. Yggdrasil was inhabited by numerous creatures, each of which played its own role in its maintenance and protection. At the top of the tree dwelt a great eagle, and between his eyes sat the hawk Vedrfolnir. The eagle was omniscient and watched over all the worlds. Along the trunk, a squirrel named Ratatoskr ran up and down the trunk. It carried messages and insults between the eagle and Nidhogg, intensifying the feud and maintaining the balance of power. 4 deer, Dain, Dwalin, Dunir, and Duradror, gnawed on the leaves and bark of the tree, cleansing it and renewing it. Under the roots dwelt the snake-like dragon Nidhogg, who gnawed at the roots of the tree. His actions symbolized the destructive forces that sought to undermine the foundation of the universe, but could not destroy it. This is how a world filled with life and movement came into being. It was given order and harmony by divine wisdom and power, and its destiny was inextricably linked to that of Yggdrasil, which forever supports and connects all its parts.